everyone. It's Chris Schmitz with MSC's Manufacturing Day. We are here with our last guest of the day, Margaret Slattery, Communications Manager for IACMI. I will not be able to say what IACMI stands for. The Institute. Am I even first?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we can just say the Composites Institute.
Okay. IACMI, the Composites Institute. Margaret, you are so great about advocating for the manufacturing workforce. Manufacturing Day is all about that next generation workforce. We've had kids here all day long interacting and learning. You in your role get to meet new people all the time in this industry, watch their careers blossom, help people connect with careers, pivot to new opportunities within manufacturing, machinists, researchers, executives, communications people. It's actually a really great job. Could you tell our listeners, maybe from what you get to see in your role as communications manager at IACMI, what's so great about having a job in manufacturing, and do you have any success stories that come to mind?
Well, the good news is that there are so many success stories that I don't have time to tell them all.
Perfect.
And I like to say that my real role is storyteller. Mm-hmm. And so that is where I focus. And today I meet inspiring people everywhere I go. Even today, I met this young lady named Ella.
Okay.
And she said, I think I might be interested in plumbing because it's all about puzzles. I said, let me tell you about puzzles. Manufacturing, machining, it's all about puzzles.
Yeah.
And she started to really think, maybe I want to go a different direction. I think I should check that out. So that was really exciting.
That's
just
so
meeting
cool.
her today and just
Yay, Ella.
I know. I'm like, all right, Ella, I'm going to look for you
That's
in a few
right.
months and for sure. And I really do love that I get to meet such a wide variety.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I meet a lot of high school students because we want it to get on their radar. We want them to know what's out there for manufacturing.
Yes.
But also I meet those that are already in the workforce. And I met this really neat guy named Hunter Kelly.
Okay.
And he works for Beehive. He is a trained engineer. Mm-hmm. And he is actually in charge of buying a lot of the equipment and setting up and even training. But he had never run a CNC machine.
Interesting.
And
which actually happens maybe more than people would believe.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We traditionally have separated a lot of the roles into engineering and machining. Mm-hmm. You're in this silo, you're in this silo.
Right.
But what our program and what we really want to focus on is crossing and getting out of our silos so that those who may primarily spend their time designing learn more about machining so that they can be better designers.
Right.
And vice versa, those who are machining understand it from the design perspective. Mm-hmm. And as we move forward, we need those cross skills.
Definitely.
We're going to require that. So
tell us about this young man.
So Hunter, so he came to the ACE boot camp because he wanted to know from as a designer a little bit more about the machining. Mm-hmm. And so he went through it and he said, I am having a blast. He was so the camp that he went to was on the weekends. Okay. So he worked, he was basically working 7 days a week so that he could do this boot camp, but he was able to do it in 4 to 5 days.
Oh my gosh.
And at the end he was like, this is a game changer. This is really great. And so more employees from Beehive are going to be coming through as well. And they see it as a great resource.
That's interesting. I want to talk about the ACE program quite a bit, but in addition to ACE, I know that you, in fact, are a mother. I saw your kids here today.
Yeah.
In fact, you're a mom who is guiding your own 2 kids, or 2 of your kids.
I have 3. Yes, I have 3.
2 of your children into this industry. We certainly have some parents listening today. Tony Schmitz, who was here before you, we talked a little bit. We've raised children together. He's my husband.
Yes.
And we talked about those paths and how a lot of times the parents also are involved in helping kids navigate that. I wonder if you would be comfortable sharing more about your perspective as a parent guiding a child. Now, you're in this industry, but you're also guiding a child into it. And what would you say as a parent?
Absolutely. So I have 20, 17, and 14. Those
Okay.
are the, and my youngest is not sure about manufacturing. She's
Sure.
interested in marketing, but hey, that's what I
Hey,
do, and here I
taking
am.
after mom.
So there you go. So I think there's room for all sorts of talents,
Sure.
and so I'm really encouraging all three of them to consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got into this job, I had a really limited view as to what the opportunities were.
As I think many, many people do.
And I think when I can start talking mom to mom and help other moms and dads understand that there's such a wide variety of skills that are needed. We're not looking for button pushers.
Right.
We're not looking for assembly line, do it the same way
Sure.
every single day,
Which is
day in
what
and day out.
most people envision when
That's
they
right.
think of manufacturing. And that has very little to do with what actually happens.
Exactly. So from my perspective, I just want more parents out there to understand that there's so much more out there.
Yeah.
And so I want them to see, and really, when I got into this, I thought, well, my kids they should
give it a
hop on
try.
in there.
Yeah.
And my oldest, like I said, is 20. He went through it when he was 18, and he got a job like the next day after finishing. He went to work
gosh.
for manufacturing, and because he was 18 and they needed people like right away, he got his very first job, $20 an hour. He
my
was
gosh.
doing time and a half on the weekends. He rolled into college with bank. Like, he was doing really great. He's like, I love this manufacturing thing. So from a mom's perspective, I'm like, if we can do that, that's
Yeah.
great. My second, as you said, he's here. He's 17. He's already involved with Wildcat Manufacturing.
Okay, which we also heard about earlier today from Mark Buckner.
Exactly. And so he has been involved in designing and prototyping and really getting that hands-on experience with actual projects that
How about
people
that?
need. And so I couldn't want anything more
Yeah.
for my kids to have these
I
opportunities.
know, it's not even like, I think as parents of teens, we look for our kids to have a passion about something or even a hobby or something to put some time into besides, just laying around or, because we know the idle mind, the idle hands or whatever.
Exactly.
This industry presents opportunities where those same kids could be making, as you said, a salary, working towards something. Many of these companies actually offer tuition reimbursement programs, training programs of their own,
Yeah.
which actually will help me segue into IACMI through the ACE, America's Cutting Edge program, offers one of the best, in my opinion, free training cost-free is what Tony told me to call it, because
Okay.
free implies that there's no value. A
Ah,
cost-free
that's exciting.
opportunity
Yes.
to actually learn about CNC machine operation and more things as well. Most of your job is spent talking about ACE. That's how you're having these interactions and getting to meet these people. None of our listeners or our viewers today have heard much at all about the ACE program. And so I'm going to turn it over to you to tell them what it is, how to do it, and anything else you want to say about it.
Exactly. Great. Well, America's Cutting Edge is a national initiative
Okay.
to revitalize U.S. manufacturing.
Okay.
And people start by going to the website, americascuttingedge.org. And we have several different online training opportunities. It started with the CNC training, and that's
Right.
what we're primarily talking about. It's a 6-hour online self-paced course, and
Nice.
they can come and go as they need. Anyone can do it. You don't have to have you don't have to be a student. You don't have to be enrolled anywhere.
So it doesn't have to be a kid.
Does not.
It could be a retiree.
I have met a number of retirees. I've met retirees who thought they were retirees,
Until
took
they-
ACE, decided to start a business, and now they've got.
How about that?
I've got one that's has a contract with Northrop Grumman. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so it's never too late.
No, it's never too late.
So they start with going to the website, and there are other courses with metrology, cybersecurity, and composites, and that will be growing. There will be
Yeah.
other courses coming along, and so the the America's Cutting Edge, it starts online, and when that's completed, then they can qualify for in-person training, and that's where it really gets exciting.
Yeah, in-person training. So let's back it up for a minute. You've got a 6-hour, no-cost program, self-paced, so it doesn't. You don't have to sit for 6 hours and complete it. You can do it over whatever. You complete that course, and then there's an in-person opportunity.
Yes.
Is the in-person opportunity cost-free, or now is it?
That is also cost-free.
No way.
Oh, yeah. And they buy your lunch. So
tell us about the in-person training, because I think that would be a shocker for a lot of people hearing this for the first time.
Exactly. Well, IACMI got involved because it was proven to be a great program locally, and they wanted to scale it up all over the country. So when I came on board, there were 2 places where you could get this training.
Okay.
UT and Pellissippi. It's a community
Which are
college in Knoxville,
really
which are
close
really
by.
close to one another.
I think we can see Pellissippi from here.
We can. And so our mission was to expand that as quickly and as far as we could. We now are in 9 states and 26 sites.
Jeez.
And that I've only been in this job for 18 months. So in the last...
That seems impossible.
In the last
and
6
ACE
months...
itself has only existed since 2020, am I right?
December of 2020.
So nearly 2021.
That's
so
right.
So a 2-year time period.
It's crazy the amount of growth. We have had over 700 people go through the in-person training, and that number doubled in the last 6 months.
Really?
So that gives you an idea of how much, like we were steady. We're about to rocket ship.
How about that?
So it's very exciting. And so we are in Tennessee, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, Ohio, Kentucky, New Jersey, and Minnesota. I may have forgotten someone, but we're about to be in Alabama.
Soon to a state near you.
That's right. Yeah, and we are expanding as quickly as we can.
Well, it sounds quicker than average to me.
Oh, yeah.
Someone gets to the in-person training. What would they expect to happen when they get there? What happens?
Well, the really cool thing about it is they get to machine several parts. They get to do everything from CAD to CAM to machining.
Still no cost for this training.
Still no cost. And they get to keep the part that they machine. I've had both boys go through it, and I have tried to take one of their air engines
Will not.
And they're like, hands off, Mom, that's mine. I worked hard for that,
Yeah.
right? And so the training really gives them the whole idea of what's involved in making something, and gives them that satisfaction and that joy of making something.
And I imagine for the actual industry people listening right now, and there's a shortage of CNC machine operators across this country. I mean, the statistic changes. I've heard it to be as high as 2 million unfilled jobs. They're looking for these people.
That's right.
And here IACMI is offering not just an online training course, which is really, if you haven't gone through it, you really should. It's not just your basic online training course. This is literally teaching. It's teaching what goes into it, how to do it, what it sounds like, what it looks like, the problem shooting, all of that, just really worth it. But then to physically go, operate a machine, make some parts, anyone completing the twofold program is ready to go apply at a company. And that company is ready to take this person with limited but good experience and train them on their own parts.
Right. We do want to be upfront that we do consider this an introduction.
Absolutely.
This is not you come out as a trained machinist.
No.
But it opens the door.
Yes.
For CNC machining, there's such expensive machines.
Yes.
It's very difficult to get that entry because nobody wants to be the first one to trust someone to touch the machines. That's what this does. This bridges that gap. It allows high school students. We've even had a 13-year-old. We've had seasoned machinists. We've had engineers who've never touched a machine. And they get, for the first time, get in there and
in a safe space.
In a safe
learning space.
And they are completely, they're guided every step of the way. So no one's left unattended.
Well, it's different when you get hired by a company and you make a mistake they're the person paying your paycheck. You could get fired for that, honestly, in a lot of places. So it's really nice to have your first touch of a machine be in this sort of learning environment. And then another great thing about the manufacturing industry is how many manufacturing businesses offer their own in-house training, apprenticeship programs. This would certainly set somebody up to say, I have enough of an interest in this that if you let me come in as an entry-level employee into your training program, I know I want to learn this. And I think that that's really how it's serving that community.
Well, and this has made the difference for some of these success stories that I've written about have been students that went through, and because they had this on their resume, they got an internship.
Yep, I bet.
My own son that I was telling you got the $20. The next summer, he went to do an internship where he was working with a robotic arm and 3D printing, and they had this idea, but they weren't quite sure. They let him basically play all summer, but then they really did accomplish what they needed to do, and they figured out what that next step was to be able to offer that to their clients. 19 years old.
Yeah, it seems impossible, but it's not impossible. I mean, as we're wrapping up this manufacturing day, it's the one thing, the drum I've beat all day long is just that there's so many opportunities. And it's for everyone. Like you said, there's even room for retirees to come back into the work environment, to make a midlife change and pivot toward this. Maybe a recent college graduate who studied engineering or business or communications who is listening and says, I think I want to try that. There's room. There's someone who says, I'm just so excited to graduate high school. I don't ever want to sit in a classroom again, and I don't want to sit behind a desk. And manufacturing is that. There's so many opportunities. I am glad to end our day interviewing you. I've known you for a while. I love the IACMI Corporation. You're doing great. I obviously love ACE program, not just because Tony's involvement, because I believe in it. And as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add to our viewers today? I mean, it's Manufacturing Day. What a great day to start your ACE training. Would you remind them how to do that?
So americascuttingedge.org. Go there. There are lots of different places where you sign up. We actually have the button that follows you on all the different pages.
Nice.
So it's very easy to sign up. Sign up takes about 30 seconds, registering, and then that sets you on your path. It gets you on the canvas, and you can be off. I would really quickly. I was on a robotics tournament. I told one kid about it. And he went home that night, completed it, came home the next day and said, I want my spot in the boot camp.
Nice.
I saw him 3 months later. He completed the boot camp, and now he's an engineer in Kentucky.
That's amazing. One thing to know as we wrap up, Margaret has done a great job of telling stories in the manufacturing industry. It's part of her job. She does very well. These stories also exist on the IACMI website.
On America's Cutting Edge.
On the America's Cutting Edge.
Edge.org, under
also,
success stories.
You could follow them on LinkedIn. They have a very active LinkedIn presence. We only touched on one small story, but there are tons of stories out there, especially parents, if you're really looking to get your students excited about this. If you heard and you're like, wow, this really seems like something my kid would love, look into some of these stories. A lot of times we find our inspiration from making that personal connection versus just hearing about statistics and data and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So. I talk to a lot of kids and I say, how did you hear about it? Mom. There's a mom factor for sure.
There's a mom factor for
sure. So check it out and
they might pretend like they're not listening, but they are. They are. Margaret, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for all you've done today to help make MSC's Manufacturing Day a great success. We appreciate you. And signing off.